Sorry about that. I had to use the restroom again. uh, okay, so first thing, this step one isn't right. Before I do anything, let me go to the this one and let me read the last. Need to go back up. Keep going, keep going. Script. Still dealing with scripts. Going. Dang. High level summary. This is the script. Hold on, I gotta keep going until I get to the actual. Here. Work of real each beat down is a single job. Chapter 12, which was chapter 11 is chapter 12 is now chapter 11. But that's not what I'm looking for. Come on. Send to rearrange. Grab the machine. Dang, come on. Um, Refactoring to do, chapter 11. Did I say what I was going to do in beat 4 of chapter 10? Okay. I need chapter summary. Okay. There we go. We'll go through one. Just I want to make sure it aligns with the with that current we'll go with step 1. So identify the beat's function. So by the end of the beat, what does it change? Identify the beat's function. Okay, the one with agency. Let's see something. Okay. Actually, I could have went through my notes. Could have identify the change. to locate the moment of agency. Decide the type of choice. What kind of choice is this? Okay. Change. Okay. What's the primary change happening? Few possibilities. State change, the machine is powered on, tension increase, suddenly thousands of gates open, new information, max plan and tech capability are revealed. Or is it something else? Okay. New information is revealed, a relationship shifts, the player's attitude is expressed, tension increases, a plan direction is shown, the state changes. Probably tension increase, but not because of the thousands of gates, but rather firing up the machine increases the tension. So now we have some, oh, machine is powered on. Location, condition, knowledge, or capability. State change. It is a state change. Probably a state change. Function of the beat is to reveal to the player what the machine is, or as we learn, or as we learned earlier that it's this gate thing. So our heroes earlier found some blueprints to the on the gate, and now the player gets to see what it's about. I'm not sure if that's correct, but that's what I get. Information to the player about this house. For example, could the player choose whether max starts slow or dramatic or good text? This is sort of what I'm trying to figure out, whether or not to put a decision in. My guess is no, because it's more like a cutscene. Just conveying the information to the audience. So it really doesn't have a place for actual player agency. Giving a choice here, let the player express how they want to experience it. For example, player intent test. Zoom in to focus on Max versus the text. See, it was easier earlier. Maybe I might have to go to the previous conversation because I don't think this is working as it was originally conceived, the process. This is to help me determine if I am to put a decision point in the beat. So the questions are to filter out beats that aren't compatible. I'll have to get back to you in a sec. Okay. So was trying this with the new conversation, but it's not going as it was conceived. Trying to determine if I should put in a decision point. Here's the beat, and you start to go through these steps with me, and maybe I can figure out how to translate the process back to the other conversation. Process. It's kind of hard because it means we have to refine what's put into the process in the thing there. Okay. Identify the type of change in this beat. Pick the option that describes what's happening in the story. The information is revealed. Player sees Max activating the machine. This is the relationship shift doesn't apply here. And state change. Yes. Yes, please. We'll go on to step 2 and then see if we can't refine the prompt that includes the process. This isn't going to work if I can't, basically I need to go through it a couple of times just so I can get it in my head so that when I do it by myself, I can figure it out. Decide the player's intent, potential reaction. The player had a choice here. What would they be reacting to or trying to do in this beat? The player sees Max firing up the machine and opening valves, trying to understand what's happening, deciding whether to act. Gauge the scope of the threat. Observation. There's a natural choice here a player can make, yet reads most of the information. The player's intent would be curiosity and strategic assessment. Player intent exists only in reaction, observation, not action. That's what I said too. Yes, please. So the story forced the player down a single path, or could they react differently? In this beat, Max fires up the machine and opens the gates. Yeah. Step 4. Wait, is that actually step 4? See, now it's just is it 3, 4? Classify the choice type. Determine what kind it is. No, but I want to try something. Firstly, can you remove the prompt plus the 7-step process you put into memory? Hopefully you can do it here without it. Update save memory. Done. Okay. Okay, so can you display the prompt that you came up with? I shortened my prompt as it was at the last time you displayed it, i.e. without the 7-step process. Just in this conversation, please display the exact new prompt you came up with. Let's see if we can do it before it fails on me here. Okay. This is just not gonna. It's not gonna be quick at all here, I guess. Choose an adventure, a real life Magic Kingdom. Blah blah. Okay, thanks. Would you put that in memory as it is? So whenever I mention um and I need a word or words that will convey I want future conversations to use this prompt. Um, let's see, what did I say? Use adventure game. Um, Let me think for a second. Uh, let's say I type in let's continue with my adventure. Let's continue Enchanted Lands as the trigger to use this prompt. I use the save shortened adventure game prompt as a context for the conversation. There we go. Stories. Um, I don't know if I'm making this difficult, but could you change the part that says I'm currently working on chapters 11, 12, 14, which are part of the same story arc, and replace it with I'm currently in the middle of developing the game, and I'll let you know what chapters I'm working on. I'll let you know what I'm working on. Currently working on. Where I'm currently where I'm currently at. I don't know. Oh, Straight Falls, Real Life Magic Kingdom, Game User, I've been, well, we'll let that, we'll let that slide, and whenever I need something to do with Redot, if it suggests something that isn't in there, I'll either correct it or I'll have already updated by then. Um, okay, suggest a compact version, but don't save it yet. Is Redot started in November 2024, rebooted phase 1 now, November, middle of development. Please respond. um, no, I think this is okay. This is okay. So make sure to save this version for when I say let's continue Enchanted. Come on, you can do it. I have faith. Come on. Hurry up. Oh, maybe we hit it. Oh, update saved memory. Got it. Okay, so now back to the 7-step process. Give me the full 7-step process. All the questions, all the functions of the step. What the heck now? Top viewers. All the functions of the steps, etc. Keep the text basically unformatted. Except oh, unformatted. Huh, weird. Okay. Um, the indenting with spaces and only using asterisks or dash for bullet points. And so please list that. I don't know. I might not survive it. I mean, if it doesn't finish, I can always go back up and literally copy the deal. In fact, copying the questions. And if I had the change in the story beat as information is revealed, okay. The player or character meaningful react to this change. Classify the beat as coercive, volitional, informational. Identify the player focus. Who or what is player focus in this beat? Determine player expression. How does the player choice manifest? Identify constraints or limits. Map. Ask what are the immediate results of each choice. React differently. The player focus is clear. Well, not just yet. Can we circuit these steps so that if one of them fails, that shouldn't produce a decision. We can just exit out of the process early. Um, and likewise, also, if you hit one of these steps that would trigger a decision point, but exiting early because you don't need to go through the rest of these steps. So if the player can't react differently, maybe it doesn't include a decision point and we can stop early. This is almost like developing an algorithm. Likewise, okay. This is almost like being an algorithm. And there's a possibility it could warrant a decision point already and could exit early before needing to go through the rest of the steps, although I don't have an example for that. Can we do it in such a way where, like circuit algorithm logic would be, if any criterion fails, you immediately skip the beat as a candidate for a decision point. Conversely, if a step clearly justifies a decision point, you can exit early and insert without running the rest of the checks. Here's a way with pseudo algorithm. Identify change in story beat. If nothing changes, no plot, not a decision point. If a change clearly demands a choice, multiple ways to respond, optionally exit, insert decision point immediately. Okay, determine agency type. If purely informational, slash player can't react, exit, not a decision point. Right? If volitional or coercive but meaningful, continue. Identify player focus. If focus is unclear or scattered, exit, not a decision point. If focus is clear, continue. Determine player expression. If choice cannot be expressed meaningfully, exit, not a decision point. If choice can be expressed, continue. Identify constraints or limits. If constraints make the choice impossible or meaningless, exit, not a decision point. If constraints are logical, continue. Map outcome consequences. If all choices lead to the same outcome, exit, not a decision point. If choices produce different consequences, continue. Okay. Any failed step is immediate stop. Any strong justification for a choice can allow early exit to insert the decision point. Well, there's one thing, and that is 6, where if all choices lead to the same outcome, and that's pretty inevitable here in this phase, at least. I have several. I'm basically funneling the player into a specified outcome. And in some cases, the decision is going to be some sort of flavor text style thing, especially if the chapter itself doesn't have any real decision points. See if it comes up. Let's see how it works. Unbelievable. Exactly. In phase 1, you can treat step 6 differently. Even all choice ultimately the same outcome, a decision point can still exist. Flavor character expression. In other words, the consequence check becomes less about branching, more about giving the player a sense of. So in a short circuit version of phase 1, all steps 1 through 5 are still hard gates. If a beat fails any of those, no decision point. Step 6 is soft. Even if choices converge, you can insert flavor decision. Step 7 then finalizes whether choices are presented either meaningful or purely expressive. This keeps the algorithm flexible, still skips irrelevant beats, but allows light cosmetic decision points in linear sections. Rewrite flavor decision style. Yes, please. Okay, let's see it do it, and then when I'm satisfied, I will ask it to save it as long as the conversation doesn't go belly up. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to start a new conversation and use the keywords let's continue Enchanted Lands. And then I'm going to say, okay, let's I'm working on chapters, 11, 12, and 14, and I want you to go through the 7-step process for each story beat in each chapter, and ask me questions to help me determine whether I should put a decision point. Once I get the process down a couple times, then I can finally go, okay, so this is my process now. I can just develop it. And honestly, though, we're already in the second half, and once I get these last 3 done, it's almost like useless in a way. It's not totally useless though, because when I get to phase 2, I'll probably add some more decision points, so I'll still follow the 7-step process of work. Left for later. Okay. Step 1: is this primarily action or reaction? Question: if the player is focused on performing an action or reacting to an event. If no, exit early, no decision point. If yes, continue to step 2. Step 2: is there a meaningful choice available? Question: can the player select among 2 or more distinct options? If no, exit early, no decision point. If yes, continue to step 3. Step 3: can the choice affect the story beat or character state? Question: does selecting an option change the character's behavior, knowledge, or the story's internal state, even if temporarily? No, skip to step 6. Ah. No. If yes, continue to step 4. Are the consequences immediate or delayed? Question: will the choice have a visible effect now or later in the story? If no, still continue. Long-term effects can justify a decision point. If yes, continue to step 5. Okay. So it kind of doesn't matter in a sense whether it's yes or no. Step 5: is the outcome distinguishable? Can the player notice the difference between outcomes? If no, skip to step 6. Still possible to provide flavor choice. If yes, mark as a decision point with meaningful effect. Step 6: do all choices ultimately lead to the same story outcome? Question: are the consequences effectively funneling into a single endpoint? Yes, allow flavor or character expression decision point. If no, retain it as a meaningful branching decision point. Step 7: final check, assign player intent. Question: does the choice make the player feel engaged, informed, or influential? If no, discard a decision point. If yes, finalize the beat as a decision point, meaningful or flavor based. Let you exit early if a beat obviously doesn't need a choice. Keep flavor or cosmetic decisions in linear story sections. Retain the original structure for meaningful branches when they exist. It basically turns 7-step process into a checklist algorithm that's fast to apply to any story beat. This actually might even be better than the questions it was asking me, because now I can just kind of go through this kind of quickly and do the thing. A nice one-line quick reference version that you could keep beside your story beats while reviewing them. You can do this logic without losing the nuance. Do you want me to do that? Okay. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, we're just going to... Here. Copy. Let's go to my notes. Let's go all the way to the top, though. Revised process. Okay. Save it. Okay. Well, firstly, I want you to save that version of the process algorithm. And I'll say as a trigger phrase to use it, let's use 7-step process to determine. Let's use a 7-step process. And that will trigger you to okay, wait. Let me think just a sec. That process looks good, but we need a prompt to tell, okay, but we need it in a prompt to tell you to ask me these questions whenever I say, let's use the 7-step process. So let's continue Enchanted Lands. Let's use the 7-step process. Yes, please. And I'm not getting much done today, but I'm trying to create a process so that I don't eventually don't need the AI, the chatbot. You know, I'll probably be done with this part of the game before I actually get to use it or something. So, I mean, Shadowlands, one ending and no dead ends, but decision. Okay, he's gonna read that. Let's continue. Okay. So, yes, please. I don't know if it will ever matter if we ask it, if we were polite to it, or please and thank you and all that stuff. I mean, I suppose it matters to how it reacts, right? Later on, maybe if you act like a jerk to it, it'll act like a jerk to you. Supposedly, I guess Grok kind of does that, but I don't know if it actually. Okay, I got saved version. Okay, so I will start a new conversation and use that and see how that goes. What is... Okay, let's try it. I'm going to delete this. Now let's just start a new chat. Okay. Let's continue Enchanted Lands. Let's see what happens. Hmm. Um, that wasn't the response I was expecting exactly. Could you repeat the prompt I had saved when I typed the phrase, let's continue Enchanted Lands, please? How come you're asking about chapter 5 while I finished that some time back? However, the prompt should have said I would tell you where I was at. So you shouldn't have you shouldn't have told me. You might should have asked or just waited until I told you. But how come that's not the case? Is the way they're stored, or is it because I'm on a free tier and using a lot less powerful model? We're gonna turbo. Trigger just sets. Yes, please. Before we do that, is this saved so that when I start a new conversation, you do actually wait, or is it just for the current conversation? I'll have to think for a moment. What is saved? What do you recall when I say come on? Yeah, okay. Let's use the 7-step process. You don't need to do that, thanks, and that is correct. Okay, so give me a few more moments. That's fine, it's about Fed streams. Yeah, I heard that. California. Actually, we could get Newsom out of there. I mean, he's running state into the ground. And it's all on purpose. Okay. So, apparently, when I said, let's continue Enchanted, on the new conversation, you assumed I was on left. I left on? No. Was on chapter 5, and I'm not sure why it didn't just wait, but something maybe to do with how the memory works. It automatically pause or ask for a starting point and just restores it. Yes, please do that, which is what I want. Then I'll simply say on chapter X. Next one, open. It says essentially equivalent Godot 4.5.2, but it's a fork of 4.3 because I'm not using it. Doesn't matter. I'll just leave it. Um, yes, and in fact, inform it to ask me where I'm at currently, which will make it more user friendly. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So please do so. I'll just let it do it, and that way when I let's continue enchant the lands, it'll just automatically jump into it. Super compact. Um, modify the trigger as well to say that redot is a fork of Godot, and don't mention any versions. The one I'm using is actually based on 4.3, hence the fork. The 4.5.2 is the latest version, which I have not updated to yet. So if you could just remove the version numbers, if it's relevant, I'll mention what version I'm using. Okay, I'm using that. Before you do that, so that trigger is saved now, correct? Okay, so now give me the ultra compact short ultra compact version suitable for quick pasting, please. Um, Keep it separate, but display it here so I can copy it, just like I'll copy the yeah, just display it by itself, and I'll copy both of these for my notes, and then I can just paste both in at my leisure. The 7-step process as well. I wanted to display both of those to me so I could copy them down. That's what I was trying to get it to do. I don't know what it'll do here. Maybe it doesn't matter. I can just go back up and copy and paste. Okay, there we go. So let's just do that. Okay, copy that. And we're gonna go back to my notes. I know I keep on doing it, but we're just going to do this here. Okay, and then that. Control S. Okay, that works. But I can still do the trigger. Let's continue. Enchanted lands. Right. Okay, thanks. I will keep that in mind. But my time is up for today. I'll have to do what else, probably in a different conversation. Okay. Okay, my time is up for today, but before I go, I would like you to pretend this is a new conversation. So just whatever we said in the last, so forget everything that came for this in this particular conversation. Okay. Let's continue. Enchanted. And I'm currently working on chapters 11, 12, and 14. I don't have much time today. I don't any time left, but tell me what your next step is, so I can see if everything was saved correctly. I mean, since I'm working on chapter 11, what are you supposed to do after I tell you that? Okay, please do so. I'm trying to test it to see if it's gonna work like it's supposed to. Okay. Okay, that will do. I'm probably going to delete this particular conversation and start fresh tomorrow. But now I know what to do. Thanks. Okay. Delete. Delete. I don't care if it saved anything. Alright. So I'll do that. Uh, I guess tomorrow. Didn't get anything done at all today, did I? Huh. I wasn't expecting that, but that's all right. That's all right because I did, you know, do some stuff. I did, you know. Okay, let me do my little recording here. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll get. Maybe we'll get chapter 11 done tomorrow. I was hoping I would get at least 2 chapters, if not all three, but maybe not. But then maybe the 7-step process will prove to be super quick, and that's really what I'm hoping for. That's why I developed the process, or why I asked Chat GPT to develop the process, so that I could just start, ask the question and answering them. Okay, does this need a decision point? Yes, no, this sort of thing. And I'll run through the processes and then I'll add the decision points if I want to. And what's okay? So, anyways, today is Thursday, February 26th, 2026. And today, what I got done was a whole lot of nothing. Well, that's not true. Um, I've been working on trying to get this. Um, we have the 7-step process that had ChatGPT create for me, and basically it allows me to figure out where to put a decision point, or to create decision points, right? So I have the 7-step thing. I have like a synopsis of my current what I'm doing here, so I don't have to, so I can paste it whenever I want to into a new conversation. And also has a save trigger. So when I said let's continue Enchanted Lands, it'll do the little paragraph. And I said let's use a 7-step process, and what it'll do is it will start and it will ask me questions, and I will answer them, and will determine whether there's supposed to be a decision point in there or not. I'm gonna go through it once or twice in ChatGPT, like I did for the other beats, the other chapters, and we'll see with these new chapters how it works out, because it's slightly different. It's not really a different process, but kind of. It's kind of been kind of modified so that it will fail out early. So in other words, if there's no decision point allowable in there, it will exit early so that I don't have to go through all 7 steps. And then likewise, if it's something that indicates real strong a decision point, then I could also exit early and make that decision point and then go on to the next story beat. So we will see tomorrow if it makes anything quicker or not, or if it's just still takes as long, because the way I am, I kind of go off. I explain stuff, or there might be some issue or something I'm thinking about. And I go, wait, before we do that, let's talk about this and blah blah blah. And so it might not be fast for me at all. I might be just naturally slow, and if I'm naturally slow, I'm naturally slow. But if not, then this could be a great help, which means maybe I could still even get done early. Now, I'm not going to get done early this time because really on time, because I still have to do any of those chapters, and I haven't got any of those chapters done this week at all. So if I get one done tomorrow, even that kind of puts me a little bit behind. So let me think for a second. Um, okay, so that's all I did today. All I did today was refine the process there. I forgot I was recording. I just shut it off though now, so now I'm not recording. Um, yeah, the process. Okay, so we have 11, 12, 14. No, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm just saying what we have left. I'm working on 11, 12, and 14, but 13 will be probably done afterwards. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, which is already done. 15 is already done. So 4. Right. 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I have 8 chapters left. If I get 2 chapters a week, that's 4 weeks. That's a month. And a month from now is, of course, just at the end of um, March, which is my actual deadline. My actual deadline is March, the end of March. So um, I think I could make that. I think maybe I'll get lucky Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll at least get 11 done tomorrow. If I get 11 done tomorrow, then we're good. We're still kind of ahead, sort of. Not much, but a little bit. And then we do 12 and 13 the next week, which is the first week in March. And then, um, I mean, 11, 12, and 14 next week. Then the week afterwards, we'll be doing 13 and 15, 13 and 15. And then 17 and 18, and then 19. How did that not work? Oh, I just mean, yeah. 1 week less, right? So, still won't be going to class. Anyways, we'll see. Actually, if, so I can still make it if, even if I don't get anything done tomorrow, which I think I think I'm gonna get one chapter done tomorrow, but even if I don't, then I can do all 3 chapters next week, probably, and that means I'm still be sort of on time. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it works. Anyways, thanks for watching part 2. Thanks for bearing with me, and even though I didn't get much done today, that's okay. That happens, and I will see you later. Thank you for watching part 2.